All right, welcome in. It is Friday. It's time for Total Bases. I'm here live from the Final Four. I think the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is like right there. I'm pointing out my window. Your boy could not get close to Lucas Oil Stadium. Forget about that. I'm like way on the other side of town here in Indy, but we're here to talk about baseball. And so that's what we're going to do. A respectable slate today, boys. Yesterday was rough, just 3 games. The idea of leaving the weather day, I guess, kind of backfired because there was no games rescheduled and we didn't have a ton to talk about. Today, we've got the full slate and we've got day games, night games. It's a great day of baseball. We're going to start with one of the day games, though. And I'm going to go to Tokyo Brandon first because we have. So I will say this. I don't typically revise my power ratings this early. But because I had the Mariners and the Yankees, or the Mariners and the Yankees 1A and 1B, after the Yankees took 2 of 3 from the Mariners, I felt like it was only right to bump them to the top of my American League power rankings. So I now have the Yankees 1. They get off to a 5-1 start. They come off of taking 2 of 3 from the team I previously had 1, which was the Mariners. And they face a Marlins team that's also 5-1. But I don't think these two 5-1s are quite equal. So Tokyo Brandon, kick us off. Marlins Yankees in the Bronx today, the home opener for the Bronx Bombers. How are you seeing this one?
I'm feeling good. I won my 5% yesterday, which was the Twins Royals first 5 under. Loved it. And then I won the Atlanta money line. So yeah, I had a good day. So let's keep it rolling. This game, yeah. Will Warren has no history against this Miami team. Miami, if you said 6 games into the season, Miami's going to be 5-1, probably someone would have institutionalized you. But they are talented, and we've talked on this show several times that all 3 of us think Miami is an up-and-coming team with a good, young, solid roster, and their management has their head on straight. So it's an up-and-coming team. I don't know if it's a playoff team, but 2 months ago, I bet a future Miami Marlins over 73 wins. So I'm kind of liking how this is going. I think I got it for like plus. No. I'm sorry. It was minus 110. But so I'm liking how that goes. So regarding today, Will Warren has no stats against this team. I don't really know what to expect, but I know that New York's bullpen is pretty good and they're rested. So I would temper my expectations for Miami. Yuri Perez, though, he has really good history against these New York batters. I like Miami's bullpen currently ranked number 1 in MLB in current form. So I like the New York Yankees team total under in this one if I'm going to play it. It's not a client play. I haven't put it out. I have several plays out today, but that's not one of them. But I'd say Yankees team total under if I was going to bet this game.
Bryan Leonard, you were kind of ahead of the curve on the Marlins a couple years ago, kind of overhauling their player development and sort of bringing some of these guys along like the Yuri Perez's and just the multitude of young players they have in their organization. I think we're both on the same page thinking that's going to pay off at some point for this team. 5-1 start, though, is that paying off or is that just a kind of an easy schedule out the gate?
Well, actually, if you take a look at expected wins, both teams have 5 wins, and they were expected to win 4.4. So both of them have been a little bit lucky so far. Obviously, the Marlins have taken advantage of some lesser competition. The Yankees win percentage should be 74%. The Marlins basically 72.9. But if you take a look at the starting pitchers here, Yuri Perez, he'll be facing 3 righties and 6 lefties. He doesn't have any splits between the two. He's a very good pitcher either way. He's got like a 19% strikeout minus walk ratio to both. He's been very good. His expected WOBA against lefties is slightly higher, 3.309 against 274. But when you take a look at the Yankees pitcher, Will Warren against righties last year, 28.6 strikeout rate against lefties, 20. Walk rate, 5.5%. Walk rate against lefties, 12.1%. So he's very good against righties. Not so good against lefties. And today he's going to face 5 of the 9 batters are going to be lefties. Will Warren does pitch better at home. He's been very good at home. If you take a look at his numbers, he's much more comfortable pitching in Yankee Stadium than he is on the road. I will point out today, as I'm sitting here in my office in my home office in Vegas, the wind is blowing like crazy. And I think wind and rain around the country today is going to affect a lot of games. So keep that in mind. We may see some situations where it rains in the middle of the game. We talk about this a lot. If there's a rain delay and you're putting a lot of your handicapping on the starting pitchers, then all of a sudden there's an hour rain delay. He's not coming back out. Chances are he's not coming back out to pitch again. So if you're one of those kind of guys, this may be a day to really look at your weather. And if you're also playing overs and props, that would be a concern for the pitchers also. The number to me seems about right. Obviously, I like Perez better than I like Warren, but the Yankees have been a very good home team over the last few years. They've built their team around the dimensions of this stadium. And I know Perez will probably last longer because he's been stressed out a little bit more than Warren has. But I think the line's about what I thought it would be. And I don't know if I'm going to be involved in this one.
Yeah, Brian, I'm with you. The line's about what I thought it would be as well. I was hoping for a Marlins plus 1.5. That was better value. I think there's an edge for Perez over Will Warren. I mean, if you just look at, so if you just pull up the StatCast page from last year, Warren's got a lot of blue. Outside of a good fastball and good extension, it was mostly not great. Now, I think he could potentially improve upon that, but I look at Yuri Perez from last year, and I remember to myself, this was a guy that was on almost a full year of rehab. So it's like if you go back to the beginning of the year last year, they really eased him along in terms of like the way they allowed him to come back from a pretty catastrophic injury. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. Did he not miss almost like 2 years? It was about 2 years.
Yeah, it was over a full year, and he had such a bright future at the time. And also Altera missed a lot of time. So Miami had some guys that were really good pitchers, and they ran into that. I do want to point out, you mentioned the first half. You're paying about 25, 30 cents. You're getting less 25, 30 cents if you're going the first 5. But if you really like the starting pitcher, that may be the way to take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like Perez, almost 2.5 months just in the minors to start the year last year, where they pretty much let him work his way from like rookie ball all the way back through AAA, multiple starts at each level. And then again, he kind of came up, had one really good start, started overthrowing. So I'm more willing to throw his last year out than Warren, which I think maybe we saw, my gut says maybe that's what Warren is, more so than Perez, because I know Perez was coming off the injury. And of course, if you go back 3 years ago when Perez was a prospect, I mean, there was a lot of people very excited about him, which I still think he could realize that upside down the road, because I think his skill set is, more appealing than Warren in terms of like an upside standpoint. I think back to last year coming out of the break, the Marlins and the way they slapped the Yankees around in that series. I think it was one of the first series out of the All-Star break. The Marlins ended up, I believe, sweeping. They were up for it. I think they'll be up for the trip to the Bronx here. You have to ask yourself, Yankees, they have the Netflix special to open the season. Then they have a huge series in Seattle. I know it's the home openers, and I'll throw this out to either of you. Tokyo Brandon, maybe you can chime in. Is this a little bit of a letdown spot, even though it's the Yankees home opener? Because they had that big series and then they fly all the way back home for this game?
I don't think so. And the reason is because yesterday was a day off. So I think, I think more like a home team coming home today, such as the Twins, who had a 2-game series, they come home and they play right away. That I think is more of an effect than having a day off. You get to pet your dog and then you got to go play baseball, right? But the Yankees got a day to just chill out. So,
yeah, Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I think home opener, everybody gets excited for the home opener. So even
yes.
though they had the day off, I think it's a lot of nervousness. You kind of you touched on it, but you didn't go into it a lot. Last year the Yankees played the Marlins 3 times, and the Marlins won all 3 games. They went 7-3, they went 2-0, and they went 13-12. So they've been able to win a normal game, scoring 10 runs. They won the pitching battle, and Yuri Perez was the one. He went against Schlittler last year. And then they won with Junk and Rodon. So they've been able to win the high-scoring game, the low-scoring game, and the middle game. Miami gets up. Everybody wants to beat the Yankees. That's just the way it's always been. And when you're a National League team and you hear about the Yankees, you finally get a chance to play them, you're going to be up for that. And starting the season 5-1, Miami's coming to play in this one.
Yeah, I think they're going to come to play. I ultimately think the Marlins plus 1.5 would be the correct way to play it, getting that road team on the run line. But at the current price, it's kind of tough to justify as a straight bet. Maybe it'll make the parlay. You'll have to wait till the end of the show to find that out. You get all of our plays. Someone in the chat says, I'm just here to fade Trig. Well, listen, if you want to fade me, you can get all of our plays on the double play package and just fade them if that's what you want to do.
Or you can get Brian and me and fade Adam.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I will probably beat you long term, especially if you're trying to fade the minor league baseball that I put out. But hey, if that's what you want to do, it's a free country. Last I checked. So I'd like
to challenge some of these trash talkers in our chat. I'd love to challenge some of them. Say, let's go 1 week. Let's go 1-on-1. And if you can beat me, fair game.
I'll end of the day before we got lineups, we have anything going on. So I'm totally honest. I've gotten off to a rough start too. Brandon's been running. If you're looking to buy that package and you're looking for a short term, Brandon, make sure you got Brandon in there because he's doing great so far this season.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, listen, if anyone in the chat, you want to book me, let me know. We'll set it up. We'll figure it out.
We're gonna bet 3,000 bets this year. We're gonna have a hot streak. We're gonna have a cold streak. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So anyway, but let's move on. T-Bree, I want to come back to you because you mentioned a game that I'm interested in. I'm actually going to give the guy that said that a play to fade in a minute right here. But you brought up a game that you kind of made the point, well, maybe it would play better in this game. And I tend to agree with where you were going with that. So I'm going to throw you Rays Twins. You talked about the Twins coming home from Kansas City where they had to sort of fight the elements for a few days. And then they turn around without the off day to play this game at home. So talk to me about Rays Twins and sort of, the point you were making in the last breakdown.
Okay. So I made a free play video on this game. And WagerTalk probably has not uploaded it yet, but it'll be on WagerTalk's YouTube channel very shortly. Bailey Ober is a guy I like to fade. I don't like backing him, and there's a couple reasons why. He's not very good is the main reason. But if you look at how he pitches against these Tampa Bay Rays, it's not very good. Well, I'm sorry. He does actually have good stats against them, but he's getting off to a poor start this season, and I like Joe Boyle better, actually. So I've got Boyle ranked higher than him. Both bullpens I have ranked as being somewhat trashy so far to start the season. But I got Tampa Bay hitting better. I've got both bullpens bad, but I like Joe Boyle better than Bailey Ober, despite Ober's numbers in the past against these batters. I like the Rays. The Twins came off. They had two nights ago, they played a night game where they got crushed, and then they came back and played in the morning where they won 5-1, and now they have to go home and play another game. I think that's pretty taxing, even though these guys are pretty used to the travel because that's basically part of their job. That's their life is traveling and playing. But Yeah, that's pretty exhausting. So I expect a letdown here for the Twins. And if you cap baseball, you know that the come home, play the next day letdown is a real thing.
Yeah, I bet the Rays here. I bet Rays minus 104. I made it closer to minus 120. I see a lot of those same sort of situational angles for Tampa. They actually had probably a better travel setup. Had a day off. They were in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, day off over to Minnesota, probably better than Minnesota playing in rain and fog and whatever, oversleeping, whatever else was going on. People oversleep in the game, although that wasn't their team, but still early start time. It was just a messy few days in Kansas City. And now you have to go and sort of quickly get ready for your home opener. There's going to be all the fanfare surrounding that. I think they could be, and I'll come to you to close this one down, Brian. I think they could be, just more focused than the Rays, that is, more focused for this game than the Twins. One other thing I'll put out there before I throw it to Brian, Boyle, he was supposed to start the season in Durham. Okay. He was supposed to be in AAA to start the season. This rotation spot opens up for him because Ryan Pepio goes down with the injury. And this is a guy that has had his shot at being in a rotation in the past, and it hasn't worked out. And he's also been phenomenal for like seasons at AAA. And he just has not been able to stick at the big league level. And it's been a consistency thing. But I really felt like he was coming into this year and his best chance to succeed to this point. You go back to his first start, couple seeing eye singles in the first inning of that game against the Cardinals, a little bit of tough luck to go down 2-0. He ends up going 6 innings, a quality start, gives up nothing the rest of the time, and doesn't walk a single batter. I kind of like Boyle coming into this year, and I think the Rays are going to be in better position to play today than the Twins. Brian, go ahead. What did you have to say about this one?
Yeah, first off with Boyle, he's a guy, you talk about chronic walkers. In his major league career, he's walked about 11% of batters. And Bailey Olber has not been a good pitcher the last 2 years. And yet, the total in this game is 7.5. If I would have, without knowing anything else, just looking at a 7.5, you'd say, well, you got to bet the over in this one. But when you take a look at the weather forecast here, Target Field is expected to get 12% less runs in this game, 27% less home runs. The wind is blowing in, and that's why you have that. Also, I do want you kind of touched on it with Carter Jensen for Toronto oversleeping yesterday. I'm on Twitter, and we've got a lot of people now with this. Everybody's betting. Sports betting is really taking off. First thing I hear, he's scratched out of the lineup. The game is fixed. What the hell's going on? I was planning on betting his homers, perhaps. It's something's going. It's some cheating going. He overslept, and of course, the coach is going to bench him. That's what happens. That's what a good coach does. And so people overreact to something before they even know what happens. That's the world we live in right now. But it's funny that the first thing that comes out of people's mind when he's scratched, oh, the game is fixed, something's going on. Come on now. Step back a little bit and look at it a different way. He's having a great season so far. He's your number one catcher. There's a reason why that happened. And I just wanted to get that out there. It's just very frustrating when people jump to conclusions without actually putting in the work and checking it out themselves.
Yeah, I just want to be crystal clear for the person or people in the chat that want to fade me. I bet the Rays. So I'm letting you guys know that I bet the Rays. So if you want to fade me, there's your fade. And that will be my parlay league, by the way. I bet
them too.
TB bet them too. So then you'd be fading Tokyo Brandon. I don't think you want to do that right now. Okay. I understand me out of the gate. I did win 3 straight months, but it's been a little slow to start, the last week or so. So I get that. I would not fade Tokyo Brandon right now. And that's what you'd be doing if you bet the Twins here. So I wouldn't do that. Okay. You can see I'm all jazzed up. I was at Hinkle
fired up this morning.
Night. Fired up. Bryan Leonard, I got to go to a bucket list venue.
Everyone gets hot and cold. So just relax, people. We're going to bet 1,000 times.
Fired up. I spent 6 hours with Andy Lang yesterday, multiple of which we talked about how we left all the winners off of the stuff we bet yesterday and only bet the losers. So we were like, we were all jazzed up for that. But yeah, no, we had a great time in Indy. We met a couple of WagerTalk viewers, came up to us at Hinkle, took a picture with someone. So we had a great time. That was it was a good time at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Celebrity.
I don't know about that. Yeah, Red Panda was there by you. She never misses. Red Panda never misses. Great halftime entertainment no matter what. But we got more baseball to talk about. Let's continue. Let's move on. I'm going to go to the chat here. I'm going to give this one back to Brian, and then I got a different one for Tokyo Brandon, because Reynolds says the A's are swinging at every pitch they see right now. Yeah, I would say that is one of my I don't think it's like this crazy observation. If you've watched A's baseball so far this year, we came into the season and said, I think I called them a bottom 5 team. I don't think anyone else on this panel was particularly high on them. I cited the pitching being a real issue. Right. But what I didn't think was going to happen, because I liked the lineup, was that they were going to have the plate discipline of like a little league team. And that's what we've kind of seen so far. Now, Bryan Leonard, they do flip back to being in Sacramento here, which may help. So actually, I'm going to frame this question differently. Do you think it helps them or hurts them going back to Sacramento for this game against an Astros team that doesn't matter who's on the roster, all they do is win?
Yeah, Houston has been a detriment to me so far this year. Javier is going against Springs here, Springs being the lefty. Yesterday we talked a little bit. The Mets, only had 3 games. We had to get in more in depth than we normally would yesterday. And we talked about the Mets struggling. They're swinging out of the strike zone more than anybody in baseball. And that's what's happening with the Athletics. They've got a little bit of pressure on them this year because they had a pretty good season last year. And they're swinging at pitches they shouldn't be swinging out of the zone. That happens when you have a young team. For the Mets, I don't know what the excuse is there, other than they play in New York and there's a lot of pressure on them. But Javier is going against Springs in this one. It's the game's slightly a pick 'em right now. If you take a look at it, we take a look at what these two pitchers did last year. Javier only threw a small amount of innings last year, only 40 innings. You take a look at what he's done against lefties and righties. He's much better against lefties than he is against righties. Last year against righties, he walked 12.4%. And in this game, we've got 5 righties going and 4 lefties going for the A's. When you take a look at the opposing pitcher, if I could find it on my chart here, Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs last year, about 11.3% strikeout minus walk ratio against righties, and about 11.4. So he's been pretty equal against each other. He's going to be facing 8 right-handed batters in this lineup today for the opposition. What I look for in this game is we're looking at a total of 10 and a half. Make sure you check the wind and everything in Sacramento today. Let me see if I can get a quick look at this from the standpoint of weather. Okay, let me get to that. And we're looking at without knowing which game's coming up, it takes me a minute to get to everything, and I apologize for that. It's supposed to be the wind is slightly from right to left. So the wind's not going to be much of a factor in this one. Home runs are only going to be up, 0.1 over what they normally would be. So this is one of those games where I don't think the weather's going to have a big effect on it. And for this line is telling you right now that if you've seen a 10.5 out there, that they think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get there on this one. I would prefer to play the under. As you mentioned, the A's are not swinging the bat well. And Houston is, especially Alvarez has gotten off to a terrific start for Houston. If I play it, I may be looking at the Astros here. They're a team that I didn't expect to be on a lot this year, but they're playing very well. I don't know if I trust Javier as much as some of the other Houston pitchers. I like Burrows, and obviously their ace is excellent. But Springs pitched pretty well in the first time out. got everything together. But yeah, Houston at this price range doesn't look to be a bad bet to me at this point.
Tokyo Brandon, I was gonna move on, but someone made a point that I want to talk about. So I'm actually gonna come to you on this game because I want to get your take on, like, now I'm gonna pull this back up on the screen. Sorry, I couldn't read it. It's very small on my screen. Basically, if you look at the advanced numbers from opening day to now, you have the highest rated offense in the Astros against the lowest rated offense in the A's. I would bet my life that the Astros will not be the highest rated offense in the American League this year, and the A's will not be the lowest rated offense in the American League, because I still think the A's can hit. They're just swinging. They need to tighten up their plate discipline right now, because that lineup is still has a lot of offensive upside there. So talk to me about like that. I mean, that would make me want to play against the Astros and maybe back the A's at some point, but I still have my reservations on the A's. So speak on that point to our viewer here.
Sure. I mean, my general rule is you keep rolling with it until it changes. And until the Astros bats cool off, I would roll with them. I don't have a play in this game, but you ride the streak until it's over and you'll be undefeated. You'll have one loss and X amount of wins, right? So A's have the better bullpen, and Christian Javier had a horrible start though. He's not that bad of a pitcher. Springs is just a guy. So I think Javier's a better pitcher than Springs, although his first start didn't indicate that. If anything, I'd play the Astros here, but I'm not playing this game. So there is one. You'll give me 5 minutes at the end of the show. There's a bet I want to give out to everyone at the end.
Yeah, and I guess the
Brian's got his finger up.
Oh, sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Maybe I should put my whole hand up from now on, so that way I'm not giving anybody a finger. I will I know what the way you handicap. It's the current situation. I will argue that Houston's got the better bullpen. If you take a look at the entire season, I'm a big fan of Blaba and Abreu, and obviously when they get their closer back, they've got some good guys in the bullpen. I really like Ryan Weiss, who should be a starter, but he's not. But I'm not impressed with the A's bullpen. It may be right now they're pitching a little bit better, but we're as Trigger's trying to get to, we're looking to project what's going to happen from now on, and I think from now on, Houston will have the better bullpen the rest of the season.
Yeah, this is a series where I will give the A's a pretty good look. Springs is guilty of leaving the ball up sometimes, and it's something that you just do not want to do. You can't do that in this ballpark. Right. So that is probably not enough for me to get on the A's today, though. I don't think the Astros are starting this season 8-2. Let's put it that way. And that would be if they sweep this weekend. That's essentially what you're saying they're going to do. So it may not be here, but I think I will. God, I will likely find my way to the window with the A's at some point this weekend, and I'll probably hate myself for doing it. But we'll see if that spot presents itself. Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to come back to you here because I can't figure out if the Astros' hot start is the Astros just once again putting a winning team on the field. Of course, folks underestimated them all year last year, and yet here they are winning all these games, or it was the last few days, the Red Sox just simply not being able to do anything that resembles playing the baseball anyone expected them to play so far this season. 1-5 to start the year. Now the Red Sox head back to Fenway Park. They take on the Padres. Do you have any interest in catching the falling knife, as Drew Martin Betts likes to say?
Yeah, I have an opinion here that might not be very popular, but honestly, I don't think the Red Sox are a very good team. I just don't like the Red Sox. I think they're playing just about. They're probably peaking right now, in my opinion. This is about as good as it's going to get for them, I think, and it's not very good. I know you guys have high hopes for the Red Sox. You talked about it on previous shows. I don't. But see, this is they might be the Milwaukee Brewers of last year. When I trash them like this, they're gonna surge like a phoenix from the ashes. But in today's game, I actually like King. I thought he was a great acquisition from the Yankees. And Sonny Gray, I used to like him, but the last 2 years he's faded a lot. And I think the Padres have the better bullpen. I think they have the better starter. And neither team is hitting the side of a barn at the moment. So in a tight, close game like this, I would give the Padres a big edge. Padres bats finally caught a little bit of fire in their last game. And they're just uber talented, this lineup for the Padres. So, yeah, if there's any way I would look that way.
Saying the Red Sox have peaked when they're 1-5 to start the season is a diabolical statement, right?
I told you.
That
I
is
told
an
you.
insane thing to
It's the
say.
Brewers again. I'm telling you.
I
told you it's an unpopular opinion. I prefaced it.
The Red Sox have looked horrendous so far to start the year, but that's not gonna be the case all year. I mean, I'm not saying that they're, I think we even just came up the other day. A lot of people, there are people that I respect that have them a lot higher than I do to start the year. But I'll tell you who I don't have very high. That's the San Diego Padres. I think the Padres at 2-4 is exactly where I expected them to be. They are, compared to the market, they're as big of a fade for me in the National League as you're going to find. I think that I don't think this team sniffs the playoffs this year. That's my hot take, Bryan Leonard. I think the Padres finished third or fourth in the National League, and I kind of want to go against them here.
Right now, the Padres have 2 wins. They're expected to have 3. The Red Sox have 1 win. They're expected to have 1.8. Both teams have underperformed so far on what I expect them to do. I agree. The Red Sox will be in contention. Every team in that division could be in contention, even Tampa Bay, who a lot of people have rated higher than I do. That division is up for grabs. Yes, the Yankees are the best team in the division, but not that much more than anybody else. I'm in agreement on San Diego. I'm not a big fan of the Padres. Matter of fact, I think Arizona will probably finish in second place, and I don't think Brandon's a big fan of Arizona, but maybe I just misread it. But you've got two teams right now. Boston's about a 120 favorite in this game. That makes sense. Usually your home team is basically a 52, 53% chance of winning. So that's basically what we have here. So the lines maker is saying that these two teams are equal from a starting pitcher standpoint. As much as I like Sonny Gray, I think King's slightly better than Sonny Gray. I'm worried about Gray pitching in this division, to be totally honest with you. I like him as a pitcher, but he's going to be facing some really good batters all the time. And he didn't have that problem when he pitched in St. Louis. So I'm not a huge Sonny Gray fan this season. But from a standpoint of value, that line is really about what I would have made it. I probably would have made it about the 115 range. So I don't think we have enough advantage to play it. And your total is 8.5 to the under for the most part. This is a good hitting environment. You don't get a lot of home runs here because of the wall in left field, but a lot of those easy check swing from left-handers going the opposite way, easy doubles. Let me just take a quick look at the right now. They expect the wind is blowing out of Fenway, but the runs are expected 0.3 or 3% higher than normal, but the home runs are expected 11% less than normal. So the wind's blowing out, but this is one stadium in which that big wall in left field, the winds don't matter nearly as much as it does some other places.
Yeah, I think, King had such a bad spring. He came out and pitched okay in his debut. I think he pitched. I don't think he pitched as good as that stat line suggests. Like you quickly look and say, 5 shutout innings, 1 hit, still had 4 walks. Like he was still putting guys, a couple of guys on base, but I mean, looked much different than he looked in the spring. I'm with you, Brian. My price comes out right in the range of where it is. The Red Sox have done nothing to inspire confidence, but my gut says they bounce back at some point this weekend. I don't know if it's here. It would be Red Sox or pass. For me, I'm going to go to Tokyo Brandon right now and give him the floor. Yes. Parlay leg, what's the bet you wanted to talk about, TV?
Okay. If you guys follow me on Twitter X, Tokyo _ Brand. I put out the OPS guys who hitter props you should back today. I announced that on my Twitter about an hour ago, and Julio Rodriguez tops the list. I like this Mariners here. Brian Wu against Detmers, Seattle against the Angels, minus 168. I would not, as a professional capper, put that a minus 168 out and make people pay for it. But if it's a parlay, I think it's great odds for Brian Wu. Brian Wu does struggle on the road sometimes. I remember particularly last year when I had him and he went to New York and the Yankees crushed him. But generally, he's a top 20 major league starter, and Detmers is not. Bullpen, worlds apart. I think Seattle on the money line is going to be my parlay leg. And go to my Twitter. I have a whole list of hitters you should back if you're betting hitting props today.
Can't argue with you there, TB. I still love this Mariners team, even though they dropped 2 of 3 to the Yankees, and I had to bounce them down to number 2. What are we looking at for a line there? What's
minus
fair for Mariners money line?
Right,
minus 168 is what I saw.
You can find it as low as 153 all the way up to 170. Most of them are in the 160 range, so you're getting a better line than what you expected.
Let's say 160.
Minus 160. Yeah. Minus 160 is good. Minus 160 is good for the parlay. So
you make some weird comments. I'm fedorable today. That's good.
Bayou's the best. He's
Adam, I have to ask you real quick. I'm sorry. I know we're pressed for time. What is that hoodie? That is cool.
This is an old school Michigan Wolverines hoodie. It's the old Wolverine guy that's like got the mean look on his face. Yeah, I actually got this.
I was wondering what that is.
I got this at the arena in Ann Arbor a couple years ago. Actually, I was there with all the WagerTalk, a bunch of WagerTalk people. We went. I think we had like 8 of the pretty much the whole home office. We went to see Michigan.
Johnny the Michigan homer.
We went to see Michigan take on, at the time, number 1 Purdue with Zach Edey and that great Purdue team. That was a fun night out in Ann Arbor. Mark Lambert says national champs. Some say the national championship is Saturday, Michigan, Arizona. A lot of people like the winner of that game. That's Tokyo Brandon's alma mater, the Arizona Wildcats. That's going to be awesome. I do think I'm going, by the way. I do think I will be in the building. I might be watching from another planet in the 600s, but I will be in the building for that game. If you're in Indy, hit me up, shoot me a DM. I'll be around all weekend. Also, before I go to Bryan Leonard, we have a great double play package. I know I've said it before on this site. It's you pick 2. So whatever 2 handicappers fit your style, or whatever 2 handicappers you feel like. I mean, right now, Tokyo Brandon is hot. You should probably ride him. And, we've all got plays up for sale on the site. Bryan Leonard, anything else to promote in any other sports today? And what's your best bet for the show?
Yeah, I've got nothing up right now. I don't have to do the hockey show today, so I will be able to put out my plays earlier. Keep in mind, there's a lot of early games today. So as opposed to yesterday where we had one early game and had to wait, I think, 4.5 hours for another game to be played. We got lots of baseball going on today. I do want to point out that Detmers is a different pitcher this year. I like him better than Brandon does, but I can't argue with Brandon right now. He's on fire. I'm going to take a look at the Dodgers game. Sheehan's going against Mikolas for Washington. Washington's a team, as we've mentioned many times, has probably the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball. And I don't understand why Mikolas continues to get starts for this team. He hasn't been good in a long time. Unfortunately, the total on this is 9.5. The Dodgers just faced a very good Cleveland pitching staff. Now they get to face the Washington Nationals pitching staff. If you're taking a look at the weather on today's game, the wind is blowing out straight out to center field. They're expecting 8% more runs than normal. Your home run percentage is 15% higher than it normally would be. And another reason, not only is it I want to fade Mikolas, Emmett Sheehan, it was a guy that everybody targeted coming into the season. They loved him. They thought he could be the underdog ace of the Dodgers, but he's having problems with velocity. Even last time out, he started the game at about 95.5 miles per hour. By the time he finished, he was at 91. miles per hour. Dropping 4 miles an hour down to 91.5 is something I'm really worried about. So I'm going to play the over 9.5 between the Dodgers and Washington. It would not surprise me if the Dodgers score 8 runs in this game and we only need 2 out of Washington. But I want to fade Sheehan as well. So I'm going to play the over 9.5. It's basically even money, minus 110 either way. And that will be my best bet on the show today.
All right, Dodgers Nats over 9.5. That's an early game. I didn't come on this show with the intention of giving out one of my client plays, but you guys got me fired up. Someone in the chat said they wanted to fade me, and so apparently, if you talk enough trash in the chat, you're gonna talk my plays out of me. Is what we learned on the show today. So I am going to use the Rays in the parlay because I already said I was going to, but I'm going to use my 5 minutes here at the end of the show to bring up another game, the game I was going to use in the parlay, and that's the Detroit Tigers for my guy G Hurt, who, I know he's a little down on his team right now. They went out to the desert, got smacked around a little bit. I think the Tigers bounce back today. I like Mike McGreevy. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to be a good piece for the Cardinals long term, but his first start was a little bit deceiving. The ball was not carrying at all in that game. There was a couple of 108 mile an hour hits off the bat. Yandy Diaz, right, to lead off the game, ended up getting caught at the wall. There was 3 or 4 absolute laser beams that just did not carry out of the ballpark. He ends up getting through that game pretty much. I don't even think he gave up a hit when it was all said and done. Maybe gave up 1 hit to the Rays. I just don't think that that's going to fly in this game in Detroit. I know Detroit's had their struggles out of the gate, but some of their struggles, the one game they blew a huge lead, lost 9-6 the first game against Arizona, 7-5. Think some of their struggles were more pitching related than hitting. And so if they can jump on McGreevy here, I think I like their chances to get a home win. So we have a couple minutes. TB, you're laughing. Do you want to chime in on Tigers or let us know what you're chuckling at in the chat right now?
I love our audience, man. Our chat is so funny. Adam's coming out giving a play, and someone says it's the spite parlay of the day. I love you guys.
Oh yeah,
our audience is the best at WagerTalk, by the way. No, I just want to promote my Twitter because I've been putting out outs props, strikeout props, all kinds of free information. So if you don't buy our plays, you can make a good judgment call on your own. And I give out some free plays as well. And today I am featuring the album cover for Rush Moving Pictures, and I'm in it. So my Twitter's kind of funny. So give it a look. That's all I wanted to promoot.
Brian Leonard, with 2 minutes,
of course.
Yeah.
Brian Leonard with 2 minutes left. Any thoughts on Tigers? My God, my mind is escaping me.
Tigers,
whoever
Cardinals.
They're playing.
Tigers, Cardinals.
Cardinals.
It's early in the morning for everybody. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. McGreevy's a guy I'm looking to fade. I came into the season thinking there's going to be value on St. Louis. So far there has been, obviously. But right now they're the most overrated team. They should be 1.4 wins less than what they have. And, the Tigers should be at 2.2 wins, and they're at 2. So there's value on that. I much prefer the starter for the Tigers. I prefer the Detroit obviously playing at home. This is a big deal in Detroit. I'm sure Johnny Detroit in the office, being from Detroit, will be at the game today. It's something they do every year. I wish if it wasn't so damn cold in Detroit, and I left Cleveland for that reason, I would go back and go to the games with them. But I like this Detroit situation today, and I think that's a winner. I think you got a winner there.
All right, couple quick promos before we're out of here. One of our last full court press shows will be in 15 minutes right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, where Rob Vino and I will break down the Final Four games in addition to the other games that are still going on. So check that out. The other thing is tomorrow we will have our first Saturday Total Bases, and we are at a different time. So Total Bases is going to take over the last call time slot on Saturdays. It's going to be this show, but it's going to be 2 hours later in the 11 a.m. Eastern time slot. So for you guys that are not early risers for this show, we've got it covered. We're going to go 2 hours later on Saturday, and our first Saturday total bases will be tomorrow. And then finally, the parlay one more time. Tokyo Brandon, Mariners -160. I'm on the Rays -105. And Bryan Leonard is going to kick us off with Dodgers Nationals over 9.5. That is today's show. And we will see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for more total bases. See you guys then.